Good morning, guys. It's Gabe, Eltaeb, Big Man Comics Live. I'm going to be inking a page of The Unstoppable Tyrus and just enjoying a nice Thursday morning with you for about an hour here. I hope you're all doing well. Had a great night last night with Jericho on I gotta turn the hat around. That's right, because when I'm drawing, I'm looking down, but you still want to see my beautiful visage. You don't want to just stare at the brim of my hat. So I will turn it around while I'm working. But we're working on an iPad Pro, and we are inking in the program called Procreate. We're using an Apple Pencil, and we're almost halfway done inking the Unstoppable Tyrus. That's right, folks. We're almost there. Empyrean, I saw some new pages online. They look fantastic. Very excited about everything that's going on. So make sure once you get in here, you hit the like, you hit the share. Make sure you subscribe, let everyone know what's going on. But yeah, there's new pages for Empyrean. The coloring is taking a little bit longer than I thought, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll get it out. We'll get it out to you this spring. But right now I'm working on a mountain lion man, or as we call them in the Unstoppable Tyrus, a mana beast, lunging at our hero, the Unstoppable Tyrus, to kill him. Will he live? Will he die? If he died in the middle of the comic, that'd be really dumb, because then it'd be a short comic, right? That's always the thing in action adventure hero stuff. We always kind of know that the good guy, it's very slim odds he's going to die. But it doesn't stop us from worrying that, he might, I'm trying to think of a movie or a show where the hero died, like in it, like halfway through or something. That wouldn't never work, I don't think. I don't think that would work very well. You can have some of the heroes die, but not the main, like the protagonist. That wouldn't be great, I don't think. Is there any like that, where the protagonist just eats it? But yeah, having an interesting day here. The weeks go by. The days are long, but the years are short, right? That's a saying I like. I heard a few years ago about getting older and being an adult, especially being a parent. I have adult children in their mid to late 20s, so it's something to see. You remember them when they were chiquititos. That's Espanol. They were little ones. And it's sad to watch it go, to know it'll never be back to those days where you could pick them up with one arm and spin them around your head. But to see them become adults and flourish and do good, and you pray to God they do better than you. I've done great, but you just want them to succeed. I think one of the things as a parent, okay, I'm going to talk about the thing that's always hello, Mad Moxie's in the chat. My wife is in the chat. But I think as a parent, one of the things, I guess, a parent, as a human being, the thing I think about constantly, and I don't know why, I'm pretty much obsessed with it, is this concept of heritage and honor. And, basically what conservatism is understanding that you were given so much by your forebears, right? Your forefathers, that you must honor it now. Now it is your turn to pay it back, right? And but the way you pay back the past is by building the future. And the way you really personally get invested about caring about the future is having children. So I think the anti-children, all the abortion and the girl boss and the men being a forever Peter Pan, like a gamer instead of an actual and I'm not anti-video game. Don't get your Xbox controller in a bunch. But I'm saying this, never get married, never grow up, go be a Disney adult, all this stuff. It's what it'll do is it'll make you not fight for the future. Because when you appreciate the past, you appreciate your father, your grandfather, so on and so forth, you realize what was done for you, and then you feel obligated and you feel honored to do it for them, to do it for the future, because it was done for you. And that's what having kids is like, because you're very aware as an adult, as a parent. If you're any sort of committed parent, you realize I love them. They're little, they're babies, they're toddlers, they're helpless without me, and they grow and they grow and they get better and better and better and more independent. All of a sudden, they're full-fledged adults. But you realize that just one day you won't be there. You won't be there to kiss the boo-boos, to counsel them, to have fun with them, to share a meal. You won't be there. And you worry about them like nothing else. And you want to know that they're going to be okay without you. And if you instill the values and the culture and the trust in God and the character that your forebears, your dad, your grandfather, you tried to instill in you, that you're going to give them a fighting chance. Nothing is guaranteed, but the idea of your own children being miserable, being crying and sad, and no one coming to their aid, and them having no answers, it's very sad. There's something about me when I feel sorry when I see people in trouble. I can't help but picture them as a baby, as like a little toddler. I'll see a homeless person sleeping on the sidewalk, and I'll always think like, man, that was somebody's little bundle of joy at one point. Where did it go wrong? Who abandoned them? How did everyone around them fail them? How did they make such horrible choices? It's very sad to watch. And I'll think that about people with tragic situations, and I'll think that even about bad people. See a horrible criminal in the news, and I'll think, yeah, but at one point, this horrible criminal, he's a murderer, he's a whatever, just awful, whatever in the news. It's you don't approve of the crime, but I do have this sympathy of they were just a little kid, playing with an action figure at one point, 3 years old or something. They were fine. Like, where did this go wrong? And this is why I think what I do with culture, I think it's so important. I think it's so important to make these messages and to share them, and for you guys to support them. You know what I mean? I think, and if I want support, I got to make quality work, which I do. But it's a big reason why I do this. I don't know why this. I think it is being married and being a father and all that. And I think it just became an obsession for me because of my own childhood. My parents, I won't badmouth them. They did what they could, but they got divorced like immediately after my 8th birthday. We had my 8th birthday party at Fanta's Pizzeria. Fanta was a Greek immigrant in Greeley, Colorado, who had this Greek restaurant, but it was mostly a pizzeria that he opened, I think, back in the 60s. My uncle told me they started going there in the 60s. But I remember going there, and it was like the best pizza. It was so good. And, he since passed on years ago, Fanta. But we had my 8th birthday party at Fanta's Pizza on 8th Avenue. And about a week later or 2 weeks later, I was in San Diego. So this is Colorado. About 2 weeks later, I was living in California away from my father. And my parents got divorced when I was little. And that hurt a lot. It did a lot of damage, which I wasn't aware of until I was much older. I remember being like middle school, high school age going, yeah, I don't know. They say that people whose parents get divorced have a lot of mental, emotional problems, and I'm just fine. There's a lot you don't know about lurking beneath the surface sometimes as a human being. So, Becky, absolutely appreciate and do better with every generation. Agreed. Yeah, and that's something that I think we all know inherently if we just think about it. But man, it becomes crystal clear when you have kids. There's nothing like holding your own kin, your own children as little babies, holding them in your arms, seeing that vulnerability, that helplessness, and realizing like I stand between this child and doom, like I'm standing in the gap for them. And it's very sad that we have, as it's not rare for people to just be abandoned in this postmodern culture where you have all these adults, they're getting divorced, they're putting their own needs ahead of the kid, and that's never right. If there's, let's just simplify the concept. If you're starving, you're down to your last handful of peanuts. Mr. Reese, good morning, Gabe. Well, good morning to you, Mr. Reese. You're down to your last handful of peanuts, you and your child. Are you eating it or are you giving it to the kid? Like, of course you're giving it to the kid. And I think, it's become very normal for people to live their best life and all this Oprah feel-good bullshit, right? That's been promoted for like 60-something years, and to put themselves first ahead of the children. And, I'm really against it. I think I think we see what it does. I think, all of the problems we have culturally can be traced back to the lack of fathers. You can blame that on weak men. You can blame that on divorce. You can blame it on a lot of things. But blame is unimportant to me. Its solutions are what's needed. So it's good to blame whoever's responsible just for understanding, not for like, oh, I want to blame you and like get in your face. Emily Kruger says, hail, Emily Kruger. How you doing? But yeah, I do think that family, I don't think it, I know it. It's like it is the bedrock of society. Like what else is a society? What else is it? A bunch of individuals going to brunch and posting Instagram stories? It's like, how do you think we got here? We got here with a family-oriented culture of people who loved each other and lived and died and sacrificed for each other. And you care about your fellow man. You're driving on the highway surrounded by thousands of cars. You care about every human being in every car to the degree that you can, right? Like they're anonymous strangers. but your own kin, the people under your roof, your children, your family, of course you care about them more. And it's not an immoral thing. It's I'm right there, and I like, whose house do I clean? Do I vacuum my living room, or do I go down the street and vacuum someone else's? Like, they're going to be okay in vacuum their own. This is that heat map of the liberal versus the conservative mindset. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's gone viral in the last few years, and in the last few weeks, it's really gone viral. Let me see if I can look it up really quick. But I think it's actually kind of hilarious and amazing, because liberal people constantly, or progressive far left, they constantly misunderstand this and think that their version of this heat map is moral, when it couldn't be more immoral. Their own concept, where they filled out these surveys of what do you care about. It was concentric circles, and I'll just write into Google. Let's see, liberal versus conservative heat map. Hopefully that brings it up. Yeah, here it is. So this is hilarious. For those of you that are unaware of this, open image in new tab, in new window. Okay, so this is it here. Let's make it huge and we'll bring it on the screen. And this is what is wrong basically with the left wing, the college age, the feminist, all that leftist kind of ideology. This is what's wrong with it, and they don't even realize. Okay, present, share screen, entire screen. Now I've read other detailed pages of the report here. So what you can't see very well, because whoever is the graphic designer of this is a moron, but there are black concentric circles here. You can't see them because they chose a dark gray. That's idiotic. As an artist, choose a white background with black circles. Please have contrast. The left is conservative people. The right is liberal people. The middle circle is going to be all of your immediate family. The second circle, all of your extended family. The third circle, this is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. All of your closest friends, all of your friends, including distant ones, all of your acquaintances, all the people you've ever met, all the people in your country, all people on your continent, all people on all continents, all mammals, all amphibians, reptiles, fish, all animals on Earth, all animals in the universe, including aliens, all living things in the universe, including plants and trees, all natural things in the universe, including inert entities such as rocks, all things in existence. That's how the circle goes. So the people on the right are the left-wing, blue-haired, they hate America, hate Trump, hate Christians, hate you kind of people. And they think this makes them moral, that I care about everything. Most of their answers landed out there at 16. I care about the whole universe, including space dust. And then conservative people are like, I care most about the people under my roof. So the people on the right, on the left wing, but the right of this chart, they misinterpreted, going, oh, you're so selfish. You only care about your family. It's like, no. When I care about my family and my friends and my community the most, that means I actually care, because the rubber meets the road and I actually have to do something about my wife because I see her in the fucking kitchen. You don't have to do shit about space rocks. You don't have to do anything about people in Mongolia. You don't have to do anything about kids in Haiti because you're not there. You don't have any influence. It's just real nice to say that you care about everything. So the liberal progressive chart on the right, it's just a chart of virtue signaling. And virtue signaling is all about the selfishness of ego. That's all virtue signaling it is. That's all it is. It's look at me, praise me as a god. I'm the most perfect person. I care about everything and you don't. I want all the illegal immigrants here. I want free health care for everyone. They love to say things because of how great it makes them look in their own mind. To normal people, intelligent people, it makes them look like a fool. And it makes them look evil, frankly, because what it means really is they don't care about anything. You don't. If you're caring about space dust on Pluto as much as your brother who lives under your roof, you're deranged. You're kidding me, dude. And one sec. The only thing that people on the right care about is themselves. They are utterly selfish and they want to be worshipped as a god. That's all it is. That's all the whole thing is. They want to tell you how great they are. They want to tell you how great they are so they can be worshipped, because they're insecure narcissists. I think that's an amazing phenomena that comes from the lack of fatherlessness, is the super insecure narcissist. Because you would think, a narcissist, how could they be insecure? Well, they do love themselves more than anything, but they don't have any belief in themselves. So they cover it up with delusions of grandeur, right? I'm an amateur psychologist. I really am. But I really study this stuff deeply. It really informs my work. It informs me as a father and a brother and a son and all that. This is very important to me because, again, I told you guys, first of all, I hate that leftists have ruined legitimate concepts because there is such a thing as trauma, right? And all that. But when you say that word, all of a sudden you sound like Oprah or whatever. You sound like an asshole when you say it. But it's like, yeah, my parents got divorced and we split like right after I turned 8 years old. And that was, in fact, traumatic. And I've had to deal with it. And it's made me have some problems and led me to do some stupid, bad, hurtful things in my life. And I've had to worry. I've had to work on it to be a better man. And Diesel, we love Diesel. He's a fellow SoCal. I think he's out there in Marietta. He's in the Inland Empire, pretty much. Diesel, I only care about beating the Denver Donkeys. Well, good luck because we swept the Raiders' ass last year, and we're going to do it again. Secretary, not sure. Another San Diego. This is the All SoCal show. What's up with the weather, guys? We had rain. Always blue skies and 70 here. What's going on? We had a little rain yesterday and this morning too. The left loves to say we are racist or uncaring if we don't believe what they say. Yeah, someone left a comment on my video. I made a video 2 days ago that I posted about it's a bad time to be a donkey and how Trump just trashed these people at his, not State of the Union, but joint address and just trashing wokeness. And someone writes in my comments, look in the mirror. Trump doesn't want people like you. And it's like, I just blocked him from my channel. I was going to insult them. I was like, you're not worth my time. But it's like, you are the racist because you're judging me by my race. You're not judging me by my actions, which is stupid because in order to judge me by my race, you would then have to say that all people of my race are the same. But then I would ask you, well, what race am I, smart guy? Because my dad is Libyan, probably part Italian because the Italians ruled there because my dad has green eyes and white skin, but he has like super curly hair, but not black people hair, but that Middle Eastern, what do they call it? A Jew fro kind of hair. Also Turkish, my dad. My grandfather is Spanish, Native American, Mexican, Native American, Basque, and Basque is on the border of France. So probably that kind of stuff too. Those people are always traveling. My dad's mom is Turkish and probably mixed with other things. It's the Ottoman Empire. And I am basically everything but Asian and black. So what race am I? And then how would I be identical to other people of the same race? That is what racism is saying that all people are the same. You know, that's quite literally what racism is saying, oh, well, you're the same as this guy because you're both Filipino. That's the definition of racism. So for someone to say to me, oh, well, Trump doesn't want you, look in the mirror. It's like, you're an idiot, dude, like an actual idiot. You know, I would bet the person that left that comment for me drives around with a wearing a mask alone in their car. And I'm all for laughing at those people. Someone told me to be nice to them and all that. No. Laugh at them and laugh heartily. Get down low and get a deep belly laugh. You see people doing that stupid shit. That's what they need. That's what they need. They need to be laughed at. Hold on a second here. Let's see. Diesel says, I'm American. Diesel says more rain coming too. Okay. You know, since I'm a dad and a grandfather now, I'll say the dad thing about rain. Hey, we really needed it, right? That's the cliche you say. Funny how American is almost the only geographic that nobody says they are. Right. Yeah, because that's all I am is an American. I'm talking about my ancestors' heritage, but no, we're American, and I'm as American as it gets because America really is. It's a mindset. It's a concept. The most bold and daring people from every nation on earth came here. That's why everything comes from here. That's why America's the leader in everything, innovates everything. Everything is invented here, and we do the best. That's why we're the best. That's why we are the best, because the personalities are heritable, right? Personality is genetic. You know people that are just like their dad, just like their mom. My brother is just like my dad personality-wise, and my dad didn't raise us. You know, and you know so many people, they just have the personality of their parent. The brain obviously is part of your body, and your body's made by your DNA. Personalities are genetic. You do inherit them. Everyone who decided to jump on a boat and come across the ocean and never see their family again to become an American, no matter what race they were, is a daring person. So America is a self-selected group of the most daring, bold people who are willing to buck the status quo and be the one to reach out there and adventure, to quite literally reach for the stars. I mean, whose flag is on the moon? if the moon landing was real. Whose flag is up there? Allegedly. Ours. I like saying the flat earth stuff and the moon stuff because it gets people fired up. No, I don't believe in the flat earth, but I do love the people that do because it's very funny to me to get that worked up about it. It's like everything we have says the earth is round, okay? Like all the GPS, all that. You can do the math yourself. You can do the calculus yourself and like plot out future orbits of where other planets and celestial bodies will be. And it kind of proves that the calculus kind of shows the earth is indeed round. But I do like the flat earth guy getting very angry that it's a big cover up. And I can never figure out what the cover up is. Because if they, whoever they are, were lying to me that the earth is actually flat and not round, what do they gain from that? I understand they lie constantly. They do. The powers that be, they're always lying about everything. Everything you hear from them is tainted by lies that tweak things so they get more money. I get that. I don't see how saying the earth is flat or round when it's really flat makes them any money. So there's no incentive to lie. Plus all the GPS and blah, blah, blah. The earth is round. But the flat earth guys, man, they are determined. I'll give them that. So salute to you. Today's show brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. Let's see. Double says, I've worked with everyone under the sun. There's good and bad in every walk of life. Absolutely. Mr. Reese, I've always laughed at people who have a mask on when they're alone in the car. Yeah. I saw someone say, like, do you wear a seatbelt when you're walking down the sidewalk? It's like ridiculous. Bazinger, a.k.a. Hello, Taki, you got to pick one nickname. You have 3 nicknames here. A.k.a. the Weed Pillar. Hey, Gabe, I want to ask if you've heard of a movie called Counterattack. I have not. It's a movie about military guys in the Mexican military taking on a cartel. Have not heard of it. Antonius 707. What up, Gabe and chat? Hello, Antonius. Mr. Reese said, if the earth was flat, there would be cats at the edge knocking things over. That is true. Double Shoe 7 is a new member. All right, let's celebrate. Thank you. We're going to give you the Van Damme booty since you joined up. Here you go. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. The Belgian buns, the muscles from Brussels. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was the one that lit the fire for me, Van Damme. I wasn't allowed to like watch a lot of movies growing up, but at my buddy's house, we would rent those on Friday nights. So we call it stupid movies. It was our tradition starting like in middle school. And he turned me on to Bloodsport and Kickboxer and all these things. And I just adored him as a kid. So thank you to Merlin, my best childhood friend. We're still good friends. We both still live here in town in San Diego. But yeah, he turned me on to the muscles from Brussels. Changed my life. You guys don't even know what it was like in the 80s, being a kid, all that stuff. Street Fighter, Rambo, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Voltron. It was just the greatest pop culture time. That's why that stuff I really think is ruling so much nostalgia. The generations before us, the people who were kids in the 60s and 70s, they didn't have it as good as people who were kids in the 80s. The 80s truly was the best time to be a kid. This is crooked. There we go. We gotta straighten that out. The 80s was the absolute best time. You know, if you're 10 years older than me or 10 years younger, I'm sorry. You just missed. You just missed. But if you're like me and you're Gen X, you got it, baby. You got the 80s were perfect. Transformers. Come on. G.I. Joe. Come on. Come on. Gotta say it like I'm from Long Island. From Long Island. Come on. Yeah, it was absolutely the best. So double boot 7. Okay, we'll make it. Double boot 7. There you go. Yeah, speaking of double something 7, we reviewed a James Bond movie last night. I'd never seen any of Roger Moore's James Bond movies, so I wanted to start doing those on the channel, the Wednesday night show. And awful movie. What the hell was the movie we did last night? It was so bad. The Man with the Golden Gun, which has an amazingly interesting premise. The execution is sorely lacking in that movie. Truly dreadful movie. Oh boy. You ever like you're just looking forward to something so much, a good meal, a restaurant, something like that. I was telling Jericho that movie was like when you make something really good to eat and then you set it down to go get your drink and then the dog eats your food. My son, I was just saying last night, my son made the world's greatest breakfast sandwich. Got the buttered toast or croissant just right. Got the bacon just, when you get the bacon just right, it's that light, crispy bacon. That's how I like the bacon to almost flake apart like a pastry. That's how I like mine. Some people like it soft and chewy. Some people like it a little burnt, the bacon. I like it like a pastry shell, like just falling apart crispy. Son got the bacon perfect, got the egg perfect, got the buttered bread perfect, cheese, a little bit of, I think, hot sauce. So he sets it in the living room. He's going to watch in front of the TV, have a beautiful breakfast he's made himself. Goes into the kitchen, get his coffee or whatever. Fucking dog eats his breakfast sandwich. We love our dogs. I'm a dog person. I am, like all good Americans, I hate cats. I'm a cat hater. I don't trust men who like cats. I do not like cats. I do not approve of them. They are evil, mean. No, the problem I have with cats, to be honest, I don't care. I kind of wish I had a cat because I live by a canyon and there are fucking rats and mice. And we thank God we don't have them in the house, but I hear those bastards and I see them on my security camera at night, running around the yard, trying to eat some of the chicken feed and stuff like that. So I do wish I had like a barn cat that would kill them. But no, I don't like cats because I'm allergic to them. I'm not allergic to anything except for cats. Get a little wheezy and like itchy eyes. And I take offense to it because it's like, you cats, I didn't do anything to you. Why would you do this to me? And it was a problem when I was little because I'd go to my Aunt Martha's house and she had a cat. And you know, when you're a kid, you're just along for the ride. So if my mom wants to go over there, you have to go. And it sucked. My brother went to the emergency room once from the cat allergy. Like he was turning like a little grayish blue, like from, I guess, lack of oxygen from the damn cat allergy. So thank God I don't have any other allergies. I'm not allergic to anything except the cat stuff. So fuck you, cats. You started it. I didn't do anything to you. So I hate cats. Hate them. Plus, it's not a masculine pet. I'm sorry. If you're offended by that, tough shit. You're a dude. You shouldn't have a cat, dude. Come on, as I was saying earlier. If you want to have it, fine. I won't laugh in your face, but have a dog. You're a man. You should have a dog. Let's see. I have a Donatello I got from McDonald's. Okay, is that an action figure you have? Wearing a mask along the car is like wearing a condom while being single, Mr. Reese says. That is sad. Yeah, that movie had a lot of fun. That movie was terrible, The Man with the Golden Gun. Super interesting premise. Love the premise of a vicious, crazy assassin who's like eccentric out there with delusions of grandeur. But and he's gonna face off against Bond as the ultimate challenge, but he wants to have like a fair fight against Bond. Great premise. Awful, awful movie. Mr. Vernon Hampton, I like cats with each their own. Indeed. I don't really hate cats or cat people. I'm very angry that I'm allergic to them, and I had to go to my Aunt Martha's house when I was a little kid because my mom was going over there. And I'm sitting there coughing and wheezing from the stupid cat. So, but it would be good to have a cat because I live near some nature, and we don't want rats around here. We don't want them around the property. I want them eating the damn dog food and my chicken feed and all that. So I got some big metal trash cans in the backyard with the chicken feed, though. That way the rats can't get into it because we had plastic bins. And then the rats got in there and ate the chicken feed. They like chewed through the plastic and were eating it. It was crazy. I didn't think they'd be able to do that, but they did. So yeah, so maybe I actually hate rats and not chickens or not cats. Rats, cats, who the fuck knows? Why do I keep doing the gum line? I want it to be subtle. You know, I don't want it to be out of control. Okay. All right. There he is. But yeah, love my dog, but the dog ate the sandwich of my poor son. Battle Cat. What was Battle Cat's name when he was a wuss? It was Cringer, right? The next more 007 movie, The Spy Who Loved Me, is much better. That's what I've read. We're going to do that. I don't think we'll do it this coming week. We're going to take a break from Bond since Bond let me down so hard with The Man with the Golden Gun was just atrocious. I felt like embarrassed watching it with my wife. I'm like, hey, come watch this movie with me. And then like, as all that corny stuff was happening, I'm looking over at my wife like, yeah, this sucks. And I felt secondhand embarrassment. And that little midget guy, Tattoo, the fight he had with Bond on the boat at the end, oof. Vernon Hampton says, I disagree. Cats are masculine. They are a low maintenance alpha predator. Yes, the utility of cats is wonderful. Again, the barn cat going around eating the mice, eating the rats, you know, keeping things tidy. I like that. I do like that. Although I do prefer the personality of a dog. They'll play with you, the dog. You know, the dog is like a buddy. Like there's a reason that it's man's best friend, right? There's a reason there's that stereotypical old name of Fido. Do you know what Fido means in Latin? Right? It would mean faithful. You know, like this is your faithful companion, the dog. Fido comes, you know, that's where we get fidelity, right? So, yeah, that's why a dog would be named Fido. So I do prefer the personality of dogs, just because they want to play, they want to run up, they want to. I don't kiss dogs though. I think that's gross. I don't know why people. You seen what dogs get up to with their tongue, right? Yeah, don't kiss your dog. You pet them, but if you don't know what dogs do with their tongue, you don't want to know what they do with their tongue. But it isn't anything you'd want to kiss. So don't do that. Don't do that. So no, I love animals. I wish I had more, but right now it's not the right time. But you know, I got a few chickens. We get fresh eggs from chickens. That's wonderful to get eggs. And then you see like, what are they doing to the eggs at the store? You get your home chicken eggs, and the yolks are pretty orange. They're tasty. I'm of two minds on eggs. They are disgusting and gross, slimy and sticky, or what? Not slimy, but sticky. But what is more nutritious than eating an egg? So I do eat eggs. I don't. They kind of gross me out, but I can tolerate them. They're good sometimes. You put a lot of butter and maybe some not bell peppers, like jalapenos, and spice them up. Maybe a bunch of really sharp cheddar cheese. When I was a kid, I liked sunny side up egg. Crack the yolk with the corner of my toast, dunk the toast in there, and you couldn't pay me to eat a sunny side egg now. That mucusy texture of the white and all that repulses me so much now. I don't know what I was thinking as a kid. But usually people go from picky as a kid to less picky as an adult. And there were some things I wouldn't touch as a kid that I really like now, like onions. I wouldn't eat them as a kid, and I think they're great now. But yeah, I was way into the runny yellow egg as a kid, and no, thank you. Now, no, can't do it. Can't do it. I got a croque monsieur or croque madame at a French cafe, and where was I? I was in Beverly Hills, and I ate at Petrosin. Pretty expensive, but delish. Went there for Mother's Day, and I got a croque monsieur or a croque madame. A very similar sandwich. It's really good toast and ham with like Gruyere cheese and the bechamel sauce, and then they put like a fried sunny side egg. But you're like at a Beverly Hills, like a posh spot. So this thing is runny. So I ate it because I didn't want to be like a wimp in front of everyone, and we're sitting here paying a lot of money on a Mother's Day brunch. It was delicious, but I had a hard time with some of those egg whites that were like just goopy and clear. Ooh, I love that shit as a kid. I don't know. As an adult, it grosses me out. I don't know what happened. Cheese omelet. Mr. Dogs are friends, cats are roommates. I guess I never had roommates. I got married very young, so I never did the whole roommate thing. I hear people have mixed results with roommates. There's that old saying, familiarity breeds contempt, right? So that does not happen with your wife. You know, you're in love, you have a family. But I could see, hey, I'm not committed to this person. We're just roommates. And I don't like the way they stack the dishes or whatever the hell it is, or what they do in the bathroom. And then they leave it all wet, the floor and blah, blah, blah. And I think that'd be something to deal with because you're dealing with someone and their traditions and their ways, and it's not your ways. You know what I mean? And when you get married, you compromise and develop meaning the two of you, you and your wife, you develop your ways, and then that becomes the culture of your household. So then you get along that way. But I could see with a roommate not really compromising and coming up with a joint culture because you're separate people and you're going to go your separate ways eventually. So I don't know. I never did the roommate thing, and I don't think I missed out. I don't think I missed much with that because I hear a lot of complaining from people I know who had roommates. So, but you know, it's necessary evil in the with the that price of housing and all that stuff. So, which is insane to me. My goodness, I do feel sorry for the younger generations of the price. God bless me so much. I got this house I live in now, beautiful home in San Diego, and got it in 2014, and got it at a multi-year low point for the prices. The house prices had really dipped then, and I'm not going to like really get into my personal business, but done very well on the value of the house since I bought it 11 years ago, you know. And I just feel sorry, mostly like for that millennial generation and all that who they're near 40 years old. They are 40 years old. Some of them just got completely hosed on the work, on the wages, on the home ownership. Got completely hosed. Terrible. So heart goes out to you. Hopefully voting for Trump and more common sense conservatives will help fix the American economy, because America first. Because one thing, America's economy to a degree saved my ass, right? I mean, I got my wife pregnant when I was 18. I've been a father and a husband since I was 18, and didn't have a degree, didn't have a job really. I worked at Toys R Us. She was a waitress. It was very bad. We were very poor the first few years of our marriage. The kind of poor where you're like, hey, after you pay the bills, you got $16 in the bank, or you can't even pay a bill this month. You can't pay the gas and the electric. You'll just choose one this month and then try and figure out how to pay the one next month. It was tough times. And first of all, because of God. Second of all, family helping out. I lived in my grandparents' house after my grandparents died for pretty low price out in Colorado while I was going to college. And then just America, that it was so fertile with opportunity. Nothing like the boomers, but still fertile with opportunity for me in the early 2000s to make a life and make a career, and my wife to do it too and go to college and stuff like that. But it just seems as the years go by, it gets harder and harder and harder. You keep putting in the same effort as Americans, and each subsequent generation puts in the same effort and gets less out of it. And that isn't right. That goes against the thing I was saying at the top of the show, where you're supposed to appreciate what was done for you and then pay it back by paying it forward. Because you don't pay it back to the person who did it for you, because they're dead. They're gone. My grandfather is dead. He did it for me. My great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, blah, blah, blah. Go back, right? I can't pay them back. They're dead and gone. But I pay them back with honor, since they did something amazing for me by building this culture, this country, by making sure then my kids and my grandkids and great-grandkids have it. And I'll never understand why the boomers did what they did to my generation X and the millennials, and why they're doing this. Is disgusting, because everything was done for them. The boomers, they were handed the world. No generation in the history of the world has had it better than them. And they took that goodness that was given to them and repaid it with evil. And I'm speaking generally. They're not all evil, but it's overwhelming to see what the boomers have done. It's overwhelming to see what they've done to the world with war and economy and everything. It's insane. The amount of goodwill they were given by their World War II generation parents, and then what they turned around and did to their own kids, is insane. You see it to this day. Some of these boomers holding on in the Congress and the Senate, these Pelosi and this Mitch McConnell, these are vile people, just truly disgusting people. And they were given so much, and they I don't know, they're like, they took from their parents, and then they took from their own children. Like, this is for me, and this is for me, and this is for me, and this is for me. It's like, what the hell are you doing? That's not how that works. You're supposed to then pay it forward. I don't know. There are good ones out there, but the overall tone of the boomers is just taking from everyone. It's insane. Mr. Reese, he's a millennial and he voted for Trump. Good for you. That translates to Mr. and Mrs. Crunchy. What? Oh, that must have been from a while back. I'm not sure. I don't remember what we were talking about. What would have made you bring that up? But yeah. So, that's why it's important to me to do what I need to do, because much was given to me. Because you take an 18-year-old working at Toys R Us for $8 an hour, like I was when I got married and had an infant daughter, uneducated, from a Mexican and an immigrant father background. Those people have a very hard time succeeding, people in that sort of situation. And because of the world that was created for me by other people decades and centuries before I even got here, I have an obligation to keep it going, because people were keeping it going for me before I even got here. So I don't understand how you could, in good conscience, do what the boomers in general, not all, what the boomers have done to their, descendants, where everything is set up beautifully and nice. You're like, you know what? I haven't had enough. I think it's completely insane. But maybe this is my theory. The World War II generation, they went through the Great Depression. They went through World War II. They went through many, many deeply traumatic hardships. And I think they overcompensated with their boomer children. That's what if you want my honest opinion, that's been my observation, is that the people born, like 1918, all those people that went and fought in World War II and then came back, from the brink, they were so traumatized by the real turmoil of poverty, of the Great Depression, World War II, all this stuff. They were so traumatized, they overcompensated with their own kids, who are the baby boomers, started being born in the 40s all the way through 63 or whatever. That's what I think happened that made the boomers so selfish. is they were just kept being handed everything by traumatized parents who didn't know how to deal with what they had just gone through for 20 years. And I see that as a parent. They say a lot of times as an adult, you'll desire what you didn't have as a kid, as far as being a parent goes. And I know it's been really important to me to always be at all my kids' events. And, part of that is, to support them. And then part of that is no one was there for me, really. Right. So I never felt supported in anything. I'm on the varsity football team, and my dad's not there in the crowd. Never, not once. I think my mom came to a game once, and I'm not trying to badmouth them, like whatever, they did what they could. But I know that those things hurt. And so to me, it was very important to not let those kind of things be for my kids, because I didn't want them to feel the same things. So then the balancing act you get into is like, I got to be careful not to overcompensate, because you could fall into a thing where it's like you start doing too much, and it ends up being about you and not your kids, right? It ends up being about you and your, why do they ruin these words? But it ends up being about you and your trauma and all this stuff, and you're trying to like relitigate your childhood and all this crap. And so you have to be very careful, because you don't want to use your kids as a prop for that. So Vernon Hampton says, remember, hard men make good times, weak men make bad times. Yeah. That's playing out right now, right? We had very bad times made by weak men. That big thrust of the boomer generation were weak men who had everything handed to them, and they made some very bad times. And I think the crescendo was the wokeness of Biden, and then your Obama, and then Biden was the crescendo. And now we have hard men, hard, mean men in charge like Trump, and it's a good thing. That's what we needed. We needed that after all the nonsense that went on since 2008, and the wokeness and the politics of resentment of the left, where they hate excellence, they hate success, they hate truth, they hate beauty, because it's a reminder that they will never be it, they could never do it. So they always they hate the quarterback and the beautiful cheerleader. That's who these people are, because they're the ugly theater kids, the ugly, awkward, mean, passive aggressive, cancel culture kind of theater kids. They hate the cool, like whatever jock and this, that, and I know, and it is just my own anecdotal experience. Big dude, always have been, right? I was like 6'2" or 3" by the time I graduated high school. I was 6'2" my freshman year of high school. I was almost as tall as I am now when I graduated. I grew a little bit after I graduated high school. I'm 6'4", and I was varsity football player and all that. Never picked on a nerd once. Didn't care. Didn't think about them. Like the chess club, the Dungeons and Dragons, we all like, I don't care. Like, go do your Dungeons and Dragons. What the fuck do I care? That whole thing about hating the jocks and all that is a myth. And I never saw one person from my high school that was on the varsity football team with me do that. It's not a thing. Are there bullies? Yeah. But there's bullies in every group and subcategory. And to make up this thing about the jocks being bullies and all that, that's just coming from resentment, because you're jealous because, everyone goes to the game on Friday night, this, that, and the other. And it's really destructive. This culture of resentment and jealousy is very destructive, and teaching people to be professional victims. So we've had those people in charge for long enough. And now we have Trump and Vance and good, normal, well-adjusted, masculine people. We spent the last better part of 2 decades vilifying masculinity as if it was something bad, pathologizing it, which is absurd on its face. So it's good those days are over. So anytime you get confronted by wokies, some weirdo wearing a mask in his car, start calling you racist, homophobic, F off. There's no time to debate these people. There's no time to take them seriously, and there's no time to worry about their opinion. Like, it's just over. You can't cancel us anymore. Just get lost. Just shoo. Get lost, like a pesky bird or something. Shoo, get out of here. And that's how they should be treated. They shouldn't be taken seriously. They should just be told to get lost. Vernon Hampton says, I hate the entire concept of the culture. I hate it too. I wish it was back to the 80s and 90s where it felt unified and we didn't have to constantly talk about this shit. I hate it. I don't understand these people that act like men are some feral predator of women. That's just more of that. It's divide and conquer, right? If you pit women against men, if you pit pit gay against straight, if you pit religious against atheist and conservative against liberal and all this stuff, there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of control there. If you divide and conquer the population, then it's easy to get a lot of BS going and control going, and people will give up their rights to have you, quote, defend them from the racist Nazi homophobes. And the problem is, like, conservative people are like more libertarian minded of live and let live, right? Like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to argue with you, purple hair man. Like, just you do your thing, like gay pride, whatever. And then it's like, oh, now we're going to go talk to kids in the library. And you're like, hold up. So what the left, the far left, not all of them, but what these crazy far leftists do is they don't give you a choice anymore. You don't want trouble. You don't want any trouble. Like, no, leave me alone. I'm doing my thing. I'm succeeding. I have a family. I have a business. But then they go to the school library to talk to kids about this stuff. And now you have no choice. You have to stand up. You have to go to city council meetings. You have to vote. Because you didn't want the quarrel. You just want to work hard and succeed. And they're like, no, we are going to destroy your religion and your country and your culture, and you're going to like it. And you're like, damn it, I didn't want this, but you leave me no choice. And I don't know what's wrong with these people that they don't want to just leave others alone. It's not enough for them to go live their way just and keep it to themselves. They want to start proselytizing to your children and basically telling you your kids don't belong to you. They belong to the state, and it's our right to indoctrinate your children any way we want. And that's a big reason why they lost this last election. The kids are the line. We put up with a lot of garbage from far left weirdos, but the kids are the line. You want to find the line like where we're going to kick your ass, metaphorically, YouTube, politically, no violence. It's kids. You're not going to do that to kids, and any self-respecting man or woman is going to allow this. You're out of your mind. Like, no, not on my watch. No, you're not going to do this. You're not going to be dancing in front of kids and talking to them like that and all this pervert shit. No, it's not happening. So, so they fafoed, right? They effed around and they found out. So good for them. Hopefully they'll learn their lesson. It doesn't seem like they have. They seem to double, triple, quadruple down. Whatever. That's going to be their problem. Vernon, I just want to eat steak with my beans and rice. Right? Vernon said the kids are off limits. They indeed they are. They absolutely are. So and we're winning that. I saw one today. It was a scandal here in San Diego of course, liberal women, mean girl moms at a school district, conspiring to like all wear pink and solidarity, blah blah blah, because some parent didn't want their son to read a book called My Shadow is Pink, which I have not read the book, but I can go do about 2 seconds of research and I bet decent money I know what this book is about, trying to indoctrinate kids to. I have a pretty good guess what My Shadow is Pink might be about. So, and again, it's like, you're not going to talk to my kids about sexuality. You're not going to talk about sexual morality to my kids. That's my family. They're mine to raise. No, I don't. What kind of adult is wanting to go talk to kids about this stuff? Perverts. That's who. Let's call it out. Call it out and then punish to the full extent of the law. You don't have any right to do things like that. And I get tired of this shit where the teachers, my mom was a teacher, so don't think I don't have respect for education and teaching. But the modern culture of teaching is completely taken over by, like communist ideologues, right? Where they're just buffoons, completely feelings-based, far left women, let's call a spade. It is women heading this, and they just it's just so much ugly, evil resentment, and they want to destroy the culture that the family has. They want to say, oh, you believe in this? Well, guess what? I'm going to make sure your kids don't believe in it. And now you can't ever, and now you're just going to get destroyed in every election because you wanted to do that. So enjoy irrelevance and all that. Guys, check, this is a lot of fun I've been working on here. This is a page of the Unsolvable Tyrants. Doing it right here on this iPad with this pencil here. I'm almost halfway done drawing this book. Empyrean, I saw more color pages this morning. The colors are very close to being done. We're going to get that out for a crowdfund sometime in the spring. I guess spring is over in the middle of June, so we have until then technically to put the crowdfund up. But the sooner the better. I'm waiting to hear back from an attorney and my proposed marketing distribution partner on the agreement on a contract that I sent to them last week to get that done. Go to bigmancomics.com, get a first printing, one of the very last few first printings of Dean Cain, All-American Lawman. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 Pacific with Jericho Green for an episode of Datitude. That's the show we do on Fridays, where we do talk about more what I was talking about here. We talk about culture, being fathers, and we got some good stuff for you tomorrow. He was showing me last night some certain issue we wanted to talk about people being out of line, adults being out of line, and what he would do about it. So follow me on X. I'm Big Man Comics. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I'm Gabe Eltaeb. Make sure you hit the like and make sure you're subscribed here. YouTube is sneaky and unsubs people. And once in a while, spread the word. Take your finger out of your nose. Hit share. You're hitting share. You're doing it right now. Hit the share. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow at 11. All right. Bye-bye.